the tides have turned again. You say that we should be more than friends, but I played all of your games trying to make you stay. You ain't gonna change. So baby, don't you think about me no more unless you're out there drinking on a Friday night. It's about time I close that door and get you off my mind. You say you're right for me, why won't you let me be alone? You don't really miss me, it must be the whiskey. It must be the whiskey. I ain't what you're looking for, so pick your drunk ass off the floor. You call me all those names, there's nothing left to say. You ain't gonna change. So baby, don't you think about me no more unless you're out there drinking on a Friday night. It's about time I close that door and get you off my mind. You say you're right for me, why won't you let me be alone? You don't really miss me, it must be the whiskey. So baby, don't you think about me no more unless you're out there drinking on a Friday night. It's about time I close that door and get you off my mind. You say you're right for me, why won't you let me be alone? You don't really miss me. No, you don't really miss me. It must be the whiskey. It must be the whiskey.
Oh, I love that song. It's a great song.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you can get into that thing a little
All
bit if
right,
you want.
let's
There,
go right there.
yeah.
we go.
Welcome in to the Fergus Spotlight podcast. I am super excited to have Zach Thomas back on the show to talk about some new music. Man, it's been a little over 2 years since you've been on the show.
It's
That's crazy. Time goes fast.
It's insane. I realized I didn't even realize that like 2024 for me kind of just like went by. I didn't put a single song out.
I noticed that when I was looking back. I was like, so what happened to, I'm excited to hear what happened to Zach in 2024 because
Yeah, right.
apparently not music.
It just kind of got away from me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about all that. We'll talk about fill in the kind of space between what happened in the last 2 years. If you guys didn't get a chance, this was over 2 years ago now, but go back and listen to the first episode I did with Zach. It's pretty timeless. It's just his story, kind of a little bit of, him growing up, ended up out in Wendell, his time kind of going through the American Idol phase and playing and sort of how he got started in music and some stories about some struggles in college. I talked to your mom too the other day about, she was really adamant. She's like, you're going to college. You need to go to college. And you're like, no, I'm not. I am not going to college.
Yeah, we butted heads a little bit on that one.
But no, so certainly go back and check out that episode with Zach if you want to get to hear his whole story. And then we'll be filling in some pieces and talking about the future a little bit, sharing some new music on this show. Zach's you got your guitar.
We got we got old Gibby.
Yeah. So we're gonna have you play some songs. I've got some more studio music as well as you just heard Must Be the Whiskey in the intro there. We're gonna play some more studio songs. So super excited for this one. Before we get into it, we cracked open some Outstate beer.
We are drinking.
Shout out Outstate, great sponsor. one of my favorites to have involved in the show here for sure. Stumbeano's Coffee as well. Atlas Outdoor Services, excuse me. Victor Lundeen's Fergus Home and Hardware, Liberty Business Systems, Wayne Schuett with Century 21 Atwood. I got my chiropractor, Dr. Zach Stock. That's an important sponsor to have. Really important sponsor to have in your life. So, and then shout out Elks Point Bar and Grill as well with everything they've got going on this summer. I'm looking forward to getting out there for some smash burgers. I have not done the buy one get one smash burgers on Wednesdays out there yet this year, but I got to get out and do it. I need a friend.
Hey, you had me at Smash Burger.
Yeah, well, there's a history on the show. I had a smash burger girl that I was trying to woo this girl through smash burgers on Wednesday nights, inviting her. And needless to say, it didn't work out. Smash burger girl, good friend of mine. Awesome friend, but that's always a funny history. So maybe find a new smash burger girl this summer, but, all right, Zach, what you been up to? What you been up to?
I've been just, kind of hitting it hard. Been playing like crazy. This summer is shaping up to be a really, really busy one. Last year played a lot too. Started getting more into like full band and kind of getting that off the ground and running. And, just been living life.
Yeah. So, the last I talked to you, I want to say you had just released like Devil Don't Want to Back Down. Mm-hmm. I think we played that one maybe on the last show. Drink You Back Home. We'll share that one today as we get into it. But that kind of period of music, I'm not gonna lie. Last time I talked, it was like, oh, Zach's gonna be like super famous in like 5 years for sure. So you got a few more years.
We still got a couple there. It's like one of those.
But yeah, so you've been doing some traveling. Have you, in the last few years, you've been doing some traveling, and you said a lot more band work. So how do you connect with bandmates who you've been playing with?
Yeah, so I got a good crew from up in Fargo. Do a lot of stuff with Dan Brecky and a lot of Dan Brecky members of his band as well. Kind of come out on the road, and we've played a few shows now. We had a couple big ones. Played with Rodney Adkins up in Fargo. We also what else have we done? We've done a lot of stuff kind of all over the place. We played Lando Live Music Festival up in Botany, North Dakota.
You guys do those like 3-person singer-songwriter focuses? I know you were doing those for a stretch of time. You and Brian and who's the third one?
Yeah, Brian, Aaron, and Aaron Simmons.
Yeah, Aaron Simmons.
Yeah, we're still doing that.
Yeah.
They both moved to Nashville on me, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
so they're down there doing their thing.
Yep, they're down there crushing it. And, we're still getting together, though, and still got some stuff planned for future shows like that as well.
So what made you stick to Fargo? Are you stuck? Do you glue down? You got your girl up in Canada still, so you can't leave the border too far, right?
She lives in Fargo.
So I think you and Peyton were pretty new as well.
Yeah.
You guys hadn't been dating that long, maybe a few months. I don't know.
Yeah, we're going on 4 years.
Okay, so maybe a couple of years. You guys, but she's still up there in Canada.
Well, she's in Fargo. She's originally from Canada, but we've been living together now for almost 3 years.
Awesome. I was talking to your mom, and your mom said, we don't know, but she's a good one. So
I agree.
Maybe you start, you got a lot of sad songs here. So I'm excited,
you know what? Maybe just for today, I'll play one of the, I like to call it the most cliche happy song that I've ever written in my life. But
okay. I love that because I think the ones that I've got queued in here, Need You Now, the new one, that's kind of it's got some it's got some middle of the road vibes, but you could maybe get a little depressed. Maybe
it's a little
reflecting. Crossroads is a good one. I really, really like that song. There's a spiritual aspect to it. So I'm excited to kind of get into that stuff. But last time you mentioned here, before we get into some more music, you mentioned that you wanted to be a lobbyist.
Yeah.
On the last episode. So. Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, I remember. So the one thing that people might not know about me is that I absolutely love politics. I wanted to be the president of the United States. I remember actually when I lived in Sartell, Minnesota for a short bit. I remember going into my parents' office, and I would take a camera and set it up, and I'd put like my first communion suit on, and I would pretend to give a speech. Like I was the president of the United States.
Wow.
And looking back now, pretty good skill to have. When kind of helps maybe shape the being up on stage and being able to not have stage fright and, and all that stuff. But yeah, no, I fell in love with politics, and without being able to be involved in politics without going through the election aspect of it, and kind of still trying to, kind of push policy decisions and stuff like that you would agree with, or you get paid a lot of money to do that.
Right.
The money part was pretty cool about it too.
Right.
But,
So,
yeah.
but needless to say, you had aspirations and never went down that road, or never really followed up with it. I ask, and the reason I bring up the lobbyist, because I met a girl at a wedding who's she was a lobbyist in Washington, D.C., dude. I didn't stand a chance, but damn, dude, she had everything going on for her in life, dude.
Yeah.
So those lobbyists, I think they make a lot of money.
They are what I think how they would say it is they are well off.
They are well off. But maybe that's a future endeavor for you. Maybe you're building a network of people to talk to. Maybe you get to lobby, maybe not in politics, but lobby for yourself in one way or another. That's kind of everyone's lobbying in life in one way or another, whether or not you're trying to influence someone to vote or influence someone to do anything else. You got a little bit of lobbyists in your life.
I think that by, let's just say 2035.
Okay.
Right? Well, 2034. 2034, it's either going to be Zach Thomas up on stage, at the CMA Awards or something like that, or it's going to be Zack Thomas, Senator North Dakota.
Senator North Dakota. I love that.
Hey,
I love
why
that.
not, right?
Would you consider getting into politics and making a little bit of a run?
I think I would like to be a little bit more like the behind the scenes guy. I don't want to be the person that's out there, running. I don't have to worry about that. I want to kind of just help shape
work on a campaign.
Work on a campaign, kind of be a policy advisor, kind of go down that route, a little bit more. But
so do you have to go back to college for that?
I don't know. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not, because that's not going to work out for me.
But I've considered it in the past, but right now my focus is 100% on music.
Yeah.
And, pushing forward and giving that everything that I got until I got nothing left to give.
Yeah.
But,
so you have put out, to my finding here, it looks like you put out 2 songs this year, no songs last year yet.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there's some unrecorded music that's up and coming as well.
There is, yes.
Maybe we can hear some of that. Maybe we can
I'll
hear some of that today.
Yeah,
but,
I'll give you some of that.
Otherwise, like that period of time in 2023, 2024 specifically, when you didn't release music, what was going on? Was it a inspiration thing? Was it just a life pace thing? Was it?
Yeah, I think, just the ins and outs of life. I always like to say that, it's really easy to write, for me at least, in particular, it's really, really easy for me to write music when I'm sad.
Oh.
Because sad songs, when you're in a sad mood, there's just something about, kind of writing it down and just kind of working through it through writing that is kind of like therapeutic a little bit and it helps you get through stuff. Whereas when you're happy, the last thing that I want to do is go sit down and write a happy song. I want to be in that moment, that happy moment,
Right.
And I'm now learning that you can actually harness that energy and that feeling that you have when you're happy and actually use it at a later date to write music. So we're slowly going into, writing some of the happy stuff, but yeah.
Awesome. I like that. That is such a key insight though into like your just people in general, like the psychology of people. You just, you don't realize really when you're happy, you just are kind of feeling emotions and living life. But when you're sad, you really, it's easier to identify your emotions when you're not feeling good maybe, or, it's like maybe you're less likely to go out and be social. So you're more likely to be at home by yourself, not feeling good, writing music or something like that.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, well, should we play a sad song, Drink You Back Home?
Let's do it.
Should we play that? That's the one that would have been you would have released that one right around the same time or shortly after you'd come on the show in 2023. So, this is Drink You Back Home, a nice sad song.
hotel room, drowning my soul in a bottle of Patron. Still hurts like hell. Try not to call you. God only knows. It's all I wanna do. But you've up and gone. You ain't coming back. I'm drinking alone. 'Cause you're all that I have. To sit here and cry, it feels so long. Might as well try to drink you back home. Can't go around mirrors. I don't like what I see. Just the reflection of a man I used to be. And I'm sick of these games. The rules always change. Only thing left to do is drink them away. But you've up and gone. You ain't coming back. I'm drinking alone. 'Cause you're all that I have. To sit here and cry, it feels so long. I might as well try to drink you back home. I might as well try to drink you back.
Oh, yeah, that was a little sad song.
A little bit.
Little bit of a
bit of
sad
a
song there.
little bit of a
But I got to
tearjerker.
hear a little bit. I should have had you explain it because you explained it to me as the song was going. But talk about that one a little bit because you said there's kind of a, obviously you got the chorus there that kind of has the theme, but you have a few different themes going on in those
Yeah.
verses. So explain, you wrote this song solo? Did you write this with someone?
Nope, yep, wrote this one by
Okay.
myself. Yep. And the first verse and the second verse, they're actually kind of, like you mentioned, kind of have different themes. I actually wrote the second verse first before I wrote the first verse. And the first verse is kind of all about, as it sounds, and how a lot of people actually interpret the song, which is, going through a breakup, you know, and you miss the person you want, you know, drink them back home, you know, and stuff like that. Whereas the second verse is actually all about how you miss the person that you were, you know, and you're not happy with the person that maybe you are in that moment. And so that's like where I can't go around mirrors because I don't like what I see. You know, it's just a reflection of a man I used to be. And it's all about kind of that, you know, reflecting on, like that you miss the person that you once were and that you're not quite happy with where you are, but you want to, so you drink them back home.
Yeah, I like that. I like a deep song. I like that. I mean, you write some really good, meaningful music. Like there's some sad songs. You got to deal with it. But like in our, like through like our trials and through the times when we lose ourselves or lose people, like that's when we become who we are. And that's really like what makes us the people that we are. Mm-hmm. And so I love that you get to capture. I love that you get to capture all that. Do you have a fun one? Do you have a fun song you can play us here?
You want an unreleased fun song?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's do an unreleased fun song. We'll we'll bring the vibes back up and then I'll have some more sad music.
Yeah. All right. So this song has one choice word in it, if that's all right with you.
Is it on George Carlin's list?
I don't know
what's the letter that it starts with?
It starts with an S.
An S? I think that
I can censor it.
I think well we're on AM radio, so I don't want to get anyone in trouble.
I'll censor it.
You know.
All right. But yeah, I wrote this song actually. So I do a songwriter round over at Murphy's pub in Moorhead, usually about once a month, and for that I playing all the songs like you just mentioned. I have a lot of sad songs, and you play them over and over again, and eventually you're like, well, I need.
I play Must Be the Whiskey. That's got a swear word.
Oh,
in it.
Yeah.
I think mild. I mean, they haven't taken me off the air yet, you know?
I'll do what I do when I see a kid in the crowd at a show. That's what I'll do. But I was sitting there and before one of the writers rounds, one of those writers nights, I was sitting there and I'm like, I want to try to just challenge myself here. I had like 45 minutes before heading to set up. And so I wrote a song. I'm like, I'm just going to write a fun song. And the way that I've been introing this song has been that, and it's true, that in every single friend group, there's at least one person that likes to get way too drunk and drink way too much and do stupid things, like stand on a table, in only their underwear and dance to, I want to dance with somebody or something like that. And I also like to think that if you don't know who that friend is in your friend group, it's more than likely you.
Yeah.
And so I wrote this, and it's all about a fictional character named Billy. And
okay.
Billy likes to get blackout drunk and do stupid things.
I love it.
It's called Blackout Billy. It goes like this. I also like to point out that it's probably one of the dumbest songs that I've ever written as well. Well, I got me a new best friend, but he's got himself a problem. From 9 to 5, he's king of the world, and then it's straight off the bottom. He ain't the kind to turn down a drink. You could say he's the life of the party. Yeah, his mother might call him William, but when he drinks Bacardi, he's Blackout Billy. Taking shots at the bar till the dog in the corner looks pretty. Blackout Billy. He's known to tie one on, got gnomes, he's always willing to shoot the till the sun comes up. Yeah, the boy can never get enough. Some say he's a bit of an anomaly. Yeah, that's Blackout Billy. This is probably my favorite verse right here. Now Billy's passed out in the corner and his wife is really pissed. It's about 4:30 in the morning. He was supposed to be home before 6. Now most would say that he's got an addiction, but he swears it's a medical prescription for all the things that drive him legally insane. Yeah, that's Blackout Billy. Taking shots at the bar till the dog in the corner looks pretty. Blackout Billy. He's known to tie one on, got no, he's always willing to shoot till the sun comes up. Yeah, that boy can never get enough. Some would say he's a bit of an anomaly. Yeah, that's Black Cow Billy. Yeah, someday he's gonna wind up dead. My bet's on a pool cue to the head. Yeah, that's Black Cow Billy. Taking shots at the bar till the dog in the corner looks pretty. He's known to tie one on, God knows he's always willing. You shoot till the sun comes up. Yeah, that boy can never get enough. Some would say he's a bit of an anomaly. But every now and then he's just the friend you need. Yeah, that's Black Cow Billy. You Black Cow Billy.
Yeah. I've heard you play that song live before.
Yeah.
But it's different when you're in a live environment with distractions and conversation and people.
Yeah.
I can really appreciate the lyrics in that song.
Thank you.
That's a fun song. That's a really fun song. That's not a sad song. That's a fun song.
It's a fun song.
It might be a sad life for Billy, you know, but hey.
It might be, but you know, Billy's purpose is giving joy to other people.
That's right. What else? I mean, I've got a plethora of songs here. I don't know if you want to start talking about the new songs, the Crossroads or Need You Now. Do you have some other stuff that you want to play that isn't recorded? I mean, up to you. Up to you.
So I actually got one song that is recorded but not released yet, and it's going to be coming out. I got a full band production of it. This is the one that I said I was going to make you cry.
Okay. Well, Blackout Billy almost made me cry. So this one's really going to get me, dude.
Oh, this one's sad.
Okay.
But I also think it's this. I think it's the song that I'm probably the most proud to have written.
Wow.
And
that says a lot. So
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And so this one is called Man I'm Gonna Be. And so this kind of the story and kind of around this one is, and I think we touched on it actually during the last time I was on, was we kind of talked about mental health a little bit.
Yep.
And the thing that kind of brought me to Wendell was my dad going through a bout with depression when we lived in Sartell, and he actually came up here about 2 years before we did, and because he didn't want us to see, us kids to see kind of what was going on and what he was struggling with, and then when I was a kid, you kind of go through that and you don't really know how, when you're fifth grade, you don't know how to comprehend that. You just know that dad's not there, and so I actually ended up getting really, really angry over that. And then it wasn't until I went off to college, actually. And then that's one of the big reasons that I struggled with college was I actually had been fighting depression myself at that time. And it was kind of while I was going through that I realized that my dad having the strength, to bring us up here and not being, ashamed of it, ashamed of the depression that he was going through and bringing us in, that actually would, to this day, I still say that it saved my life, because being able to watch him go through that and come out the other side helped me to be able to go through that. I had an example, and I'm grateful that I have that example, because there's so many people that, unfortunately, that story ends differently. And so I wrote this song, and it's called Man I'm Gonna Be.
Ah, I love it.
Time is such a strange thing, the way it brings back feelings you thought that you'd let go. Like when I was a kid and I couldn't help but feel that you were leaving me alone. Now I've opened up my eyes, finally recognize that you were facing demons, and I just couldn't see that you were giving me everything you had. But I was just a kid then, and I couldn't see past the thought of losing my old man. Looking back now, it's clear to see that you were introducing me to the man I'm gonna be. And now I know what strength is, 'cause you showed me the difference and how to not give up. So when I faced those demons and felt like I was beaten, you were there to lift me up. God, I wish that I had seen everything you did for me when you were facing demons, and I just couldn't see that you were giving me everything you had. But I was just a kid then, and I couldn't see past the thought of losing my old man. Looking back now, it's clear to see that you were introducing me to the man I'm gonna be. You were facing demons, and I just couldn't see that you were giving me everything you had. But I was just a kid then, and I couldn't see past the thought of losing my old man. Looking back now, it's clear to see that you were introducing me to the man I'm gonna be. The man I'm gonna be.
Wow. That's a good song.
Thank you.
That's a very good song. And I bet that means a lot to your dad.
Oh, yeah.
I bet you that song means a lot to him. That's a good song. I didn't cry, but you know, like, if you hadn't warned me, you would have got it. I was fine. No, that's a good stuff and relatable. Certainly.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly is. Wow. Well, these other two new songs. So I'm excited for that studio version. I kind of want to hear a little bit more about that process. You record down in Nashville, or do you record centrally, or
Yeah.
how do you do all this stuff?
I'm currently down in Nashville. Yep. Doing all my recording down there. I've used my producer, his name's John Shaw, and he's done everything for me so far.
Okay. And I love the fiddle in that Drink You Back Home song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So you're starting to do some full band stuff now with local people, obviously live. You need local musicians for that. Is that some studio? Is there some potential for some recordings to sort of happen with that band, with those bands locally? Do you have a band? Do you have a rotation of people that play with you?
I got about two groups of people that usually play with me. Yeah, it's usually the people that are usually in the band with me are Will Hess on drums. I got a guy by the name of Tyler Steinley, amazingly talented guitar player. Dan Brecky, amazingly talented songwriter, guitar player, fiddle. Dude's insane, like in the best way possible. And then Travis Atwood will play with me on bass every once in a while, and then Mitch Rittenbach also plays with me.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also, yeah, and then He goes by Sweet Pea, but Matt Tingem also plays drums.
So what kind of do they play fiddle? Do they do some of this
Yeah.
stuff? Like, do you get a full band experience? You try to get as much of a studio experience as you can
Yeah,
in a live environment?
You know, it all kind of depends on schedules and stuff like that right now. Dan's the one who usually will play not usually does play the fiddle. And, you know, it's kind of with Summers, you know, we're both you know, original artists too that are trying to push it in the same way. But when the schedules align and we're able to all be up there on stage, he busts out the fiddle, and we even play some Taylor Swift every once in a while.
Ooh, I like that. Now, is this the band we're going to see here locally at Dough for Joe this year?
Yeah, so for Dough for Joe, it'll be myself, it'll be Will Hess on drums, it'll be Mitch Rittenbach on bass, and then I actually got a good friend of mine named Aaron Pond is going to hop on guitars.
Okay.
And then you're going to get to see me on my electric, which doesn't normally happen as often, but it's going to be fun to bust that out and play a little bit of that for you too.
I like that. So, collaborate. Obviously, that last song you shared about your dad, I can't imagine anyone helped you with that. That's a very from the heart song.
Yeah, that one was all me.
These new songs, Need You Now, Crossroads, that creative process, how did that go?
Yeah, so those songs kind of both started with me kind of just messing around on a guitar, and I got to a spot where I kind of got stuck a little bit, and you know, and with Crossroads in particular, I kind of got stuck, and then I actually went in, and my buddy Brian Lowry, we ended up before he moved out to Nashville, we did a lot of writing together, and you know, went and sat in with him, and just kind of pitched ideas, and I said, hey, I got this song that I've been working on, and you know, I'm kind of at a sticking point, and then he kind of helped me through that with Crossroads, and then Need You Now was one that we actually wrote together completely from the ground up.
Okay, you and Brian.
Yeah.
And Need You Now, or let's play Crossroads first, but talk about this one. This one's very much so, like I said, it's got a little bit of a spiritual feel to it.
Yeah, you know, Crossroads, it's all about, you know, I like to say, you know, like when life kind of gets you down, you're not going out without putting up a fight, you know, and it's about not really taking the easy way out, and that's probably the best way to put it. Is it's not about taking the easy way through life or anything like that. It's about, you know, fighting the desire to do that, you know, and take the easy way, but putting in the work, doing all of that stuff, and just never giving up. It's really what it's about.
All right. Well, we're gonna hear it here. This is Crossroads.
Crossroads and looked him in the eye. I heard he had a deal for me if I'd sign on the dotted line. I took one look at the fine print and told him to go to hell. Might be the product of a sinner, but a damn sure ain't for sale. I've got a long list of people I wronged. Oh, ain't you heard that the judgment's coming? I've been away for too long, fighting that urge to keep on running. And I hear 'em calling my name. I'm looking for someone to set me free. I might be going crazy with this nightmare haunting me. That clock strikes 12 again, and
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's Crossroads. And did that one come out before Need You Now?
Yes.
So Need You Now is like a brand new.
Yeah,
brand
Need You
new
Now I
release.
think came out May 16th.
Okay.
almost,
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay. But then just not too far before you finally got that one
Yep.
out and done. You've got some new music. You mentioned that one that you played, The Man I'll Be. Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
The
Man, I'm Gonna Be.
The Man I'm Gonna Be. That's gonna be your next studio song. Do you have some other stuff that like you're like looking to put together? I mean, what does the future look like?
You know, I want to. I have a few songs that I think are ready to go in the studio and record. Trying to kind of figure out what's the best avenue of how I want to do it. I really love like Tyler Childers, and you go that he's got that like acoustic, some of like the very acoustic heavy, like recordings. And there's a couple songs that I have that are like perfect for that.
Yeah.
And even a couple songs that I've put out already that would be really fun to go back in the studio and kind of do that way.
Yeah.
And just strip it down. So I'm thinking about maybe doing that, as well as, kind of sitting down right now and kind of start focusing on next year a little bit and try to, my goal is I really want to put out another EP.
Yep.
That's kind of my next goal. So I want to.
It's hard, huh?
It is
Dude.
so many songs.
Dude, it's like, I mean, an EP seems like a challenge enough. Like when I see local musicians do it, I'm like, awesome. And then I think about like how, like Taylor Swift is a freak, dude.
Oh, yeah.
She's a freak. Like, and that's like the pinnacle of it, right? Like that's the like, but like I look at like I love the Avett Brothers.
Oh yeah.
And they have so many songs, and it's like, how the hell do you do that? How do you crank out that much music? How do you, like, could you see yourself writing a full out? Like, could you see yourself having full albums someday? Do you think that requires people kind of supporting you in that? You need a team to do those kinds of things. I mean, people can do it on their own too, but like it helps to, I know in the country music world, people are writing songs specifically. They don't sing at all. They're just songwriters, and those are getting picked up by recording artists, and those are the big songs that often these artists aren't even a part of the songwriting process, you know? But thoughts on that, I guess?
Yeah, I would love to do a full album. I think that for me, the biggest challenge, it's not even the writing aspect of it, because you could sit down and just, and crank out a bunch of songs.
Right.
I really want to try to have a project where it's very cohesive and it, kind of follows a central theme and kind of go that route with it. Because I think that's what makes some of the best albums out there. I want to try to do that. And then the part that's the hardest for me when it comes to like the challenges that come with, putting together a full album is the same thing with an EP is just the promoting aspect of it, So you put so much out or so much into recording an album that you want to make sure that it gets out there and that everybody gets, that it gets the chance that it deserves, kind of a thing, and so making sure that, you kind of build up the war chest to be able to do that. But.
Absolutely. Well, I want to play this Need You Now. We just have, about 5-6 minutes left here on the hour for KBRF. So I want to make sure that people hear this new song, Need You Now. But you want to talk about that one a little bit? Yeah.
So this one is, I like to kind of joke around and say that it's just another one from the breakup catalog for Zack. But
so how are you cranking out all these breakup songs when you got your girlfriend that you adore so much?
It's just, I wrote so many of them back in the day that it's just, I think, ingrained in my DNA now that I like to joke around and say that I'm kind of like the male version of Taylor Swift a little bit now, but and we're slowly getting out of that. But this kind of stems like in that same realm where, the breakup music realm. And I like to say that it's step 3 of a breakup. Step 1 is where you're absolutely mad at them. And I have a song about that already called Better Off. Step 2 is, the must be the whiskey where you're drunk at 3 a.m., and oh, I miss you, that kind of stuff. And then you got step 3, which is you realize that, hey, no, I need to move on with my life.
This is like a sad but happy song.
Yeah, it is.
I appreciate this song for what it is, for sure.
I had trouble waking up every morning, still haunted by the words you said. Like the time you let me without warning, all alone in that king-size bed. I wonder if you still think about it. Yeah, I bet it's driving you mad. If you need another nail in the coffin, look at what I have. I finally make it through a weekend somber and pull myself off my knees. Finally getting over. Took long enough for me to see I needed something else to get me out. Haven't been myself for so long now. I finally figured out I don't need you now. Turns out your kind of heaven was putting me through hell. Blindsided by the end, it's like you couldn't tell. Did you need your space? Was it something I did wrong? I'm in a better place, but it's been so long since I made it through a weekend somber. You pull myself off my knees. Finally getting over. It took long enough for me to see I needed something else to get me out. Haven't been myself for so long now. I finally figured out I don't need you. Finally getting through the weekend sober, pull myself off my knees. Finally make it through a weekend sober, and pull myself off my knees. Finally getting over. It took long enough for me to see I needed something else to get me out. Haven't been myself for so long now. I finally figured out I don't need you now.
It's a catchy song. It's catchy. It is. When I maybe think I heard that one maybe for the first time just a couple weeks ago at Outstate when you came and played.
Oh yeah.
Or last week at Outstate when you came and played, and I was like, that's a catchy song. I heard that chorus once. I was like, yeah, it's a catchy song. It's one of those. It's one of those ones that could get stuck in your head for sure. So, how's that rollout been? I mean, promoting new music is hard, but you have you at least have a network that you roll that stuff out to, or how do you try and get your music pushed out?
Yeah, to be honest, on that one, I was so caught up in promoting Crossroads that I completely forgot that was I messed up with that.
Not to take anything away from Crossroads, but that's a good song.
Hey.
That's that's a really good song. You know? Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, we're kind of now I'm kind of happy. That's why I'm kind of pushing back a little bit the Man I'm Gonna Be until I feel like that's more of a fall song, maybe, kind of a thing. Summer people want to feel at least a little bit up tempo.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So plans to write some happy songs. I mean, what are your thoughts to, like you said, you said you have figured out a technique to store your happiness for a later date. Please share this technique with us.
Yeah, I think I've done that. I don't actually know if I have. I think it's called beer. just
put it in the can,
just drink.
Keep it in the fridge, crack it open when you need it.
Pretty much, yeah. No, I just, kind of getting into the just writing when writing all the time in all a bunch of different moods is probably the best way of going about it. I'm overall pretty, contrary to what my music sounds like, I'm actually a very happy person.
You are. Yeah, for sure.
Like almost annoyingly happy at times. But it's just kind of, I think I just need to kind of get in the habit of forcing myself to challenge myself a little bit,
Yeah.
more and write different avenues of
Well,
music.
and kind of going back to like why it's easier I think it's easier to write sad songs because people relate to them a lot.
Mhm.
And I interviewed a guy, Ben Ranson, one of my good friends, great musician. He writes a lot of like quirky, funny songs where he's similar to Blackout Billy, but like everything he does is like folk and like quirky, wordsmithy, funny, right?
Yeah.
And the way he put it was like when I was a kid or when I was starting out songwriting, I would write these songs and I would just think, man, this song makes me sound like a total loser. or like something. So it's like you can't, when you get out of your lane and you try to do something that's not you, it's harder to be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like harder to find that authenticness. And so you got to just kind of find your music and be in it, you know?
100%, yeah.
And so I respect Ben for what he does. And certainly like he realized early on that he wasn't going to write like any songs that were like super serious, unlikely to like be like a emotionally jerking, make you cry kind of musician. But you definitely have that aspect to you. You know, like certainly. So play into your strengths, you know. But certainly I want to hear Blackout Bill. Is that one recorded?
Not yet. That's
Okay.
probably like one of the next ones that I
Okay.
got on the docket.
That's a
because
good one, too.
I want to record that one. I've never shot a music video yet.
Oh,
That would be a fun.
that
music
would be
video
a really
shit.
fun music
That'd be a
video.
really fun.
If you need,
Just get a bunch of people in a bar.
I
and
think
we'll
that
have
there's
a
a
good time.
better, I think I'm seeing this Billy character.
Oh,
There's a great character out there that could be Billy.
You know,
Maybe you could be Billy.
I think what the best way of doing this is going to be and this is how my mind.
You go some
pictures
Billy
it.
tryouts.
We're gonna bring everybody in there. I'm gonna say and find a bar that is willing, and we'll be like, we're gonna have an open tab on tequila tonight.
Oh my
And we're just
gosh.
gonna let it rip, and we're gonna see what happens. The budget for the music video is gonna be excessive.
You know, you might not even have to do it if you just shoot it
It's
at the VFW in Fergus
There
Falls.
we go.
dude.
There we go.
Billy lives at the VFW in Fergus Falls. Oh man,
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what else is in the plans? I mean, you mentioned like when's your next trip to go do some recording? Are you focusing? You're a great live musician. I mean, I imagine that's kind of how you make your bread and butter as an artist is these live shows. That's what pays the bills. You're going to keep cranking out a ton of live shows. It sounds like 3 to 5 shows a week and here in the summer, more.
Yeah, no, it's I don't currently have anything on the books right now for going down to record. I do have the capability to record in Fargo as well. So we'll see how the budget kind of wraps up here towards the end of the year. But
Probably a little bit more budget friendly to record
yeah.
in Fargo than Nashville.
and especially if I do end up kind of going down the acoustic aspect of things, trying to do like kind of more stripped down versions of stuff. That's stuff that I can very easily handle in Fargo. But yeah, no, kind of got. So nothing really on the books yet for any Nashville trips at the moment, but that usually changes. I'm almost always down there in the fall. So we'll see what happens. That could change. But
Yeah, I went to a bachelor party in Nashville recently. That's a good time. We went
Nashville is dangerous, man.
Well, there's all those
In a good way.
bachelorette parties. You don't see a lot of bachelor groups. We were there for the NASCAR race. We went and watched the NASCAR race and kind of had our Nashville, Nashville boys weekend. But it was fun. That's a good city. It's a city where there's the people there, the influx of people that come during tourist season is insane. But you meet, I like to meet locals too and try to talk with locals. And this time I talked to some comedians. We went to a stand-up comedy open mic and I talked to this comedian who's like an aspiring wannabe, but like, man, that life would be tough. I feel like you are like, how are your friends doing trying to crack into the scene down there since they moved down there?
They're doing good. It's actually a pretty welcoming scene for the most part. I mean, you get some people, I'm sure just like anywhere that are, like to kind of gatekeep, but everybody there's been pretty good. I know they're playing writers rounds all over town.
Okay.
And, they're writing a bunch with a bunch of people. I think Aaron's entire band is based out of Nashville.
Well,
and then they kind of fly out and play with him whenever he's playing somewhere too. So
cool.
No, I think it's been going really well for them down there. I love Nashville. I love Austin, Texas a little bit more than I love Nashville. But I also, kind of growing up around here, this is home to me. And I have no problem, going down to Nashville and working down there. But for me, it's always, I've kind of been fighting the mindset that, I don't think I would be able to turn it off if I was down there. And I think that might kind of wreck the experience a little bit for me as well. I love being able to, you have your, like Eminem did back in the day, you have your, when 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock comes around, you're not Zack the musician. You're just normal.
Yeah,
because doing your day.
Because we didn't touch on this, but you do have a real last name. Thomas is not your last name.
No, it's my middle name. Yeah. No, that's my
so
middle name.
you get to step off the stage and be somebody else, and that's good.
It's like my name is so generic. I immediately just.
Well, you chose you went from one generic last name to like a generic like another generic last name.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. No, that's good. Well, what else do we need to touch on here? I've got Better Off queued up here. That's a great song. I've got that one queued up for the outro for the people here. But is there anything else you want to touch on or anything else you want to talk about?
I just want to give another shout out, to Dough for Joe on July 26th.
Yeah.
Be out there for that. It's going to be a great show. I was kind of working on we have the song list together for the night. And I'm currently putting together, and on the way down actually today, I'm putting together some of the order, and the first set is sounding really, really cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing.
Did you have you were solo at Dough for Joe last year?
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't think I've ever seen you with a band before.
It's a different experience, but it's a lot of fun. We'll have a lot of the originals in the set because it's a 3-hour show for that one, so probably do 2 sets for that. But we'll have a bunch of originals in the set, and then we'll also. I think we got Nickelback in there. We got some
nice.
Little shout out to some other genres of music as
well.
But
that's one thing I actually mentioned to Erica today when at Outstate when I told her you were coming in to record. Like, I really appreciate the fact that you always, it seems like, work hard to kind of switch it up or change. Your song catalog is so big that you play so many different things, and I'm never surprised by the throwback tunes you put in, or it's really, really good to have something fresh every time. You're not just gonna get your original, and then you never know what you're gonna get out of Zack Thomas. So I appreciate that. So
hey, when you grow up listening to everything, you got to play everything.
Dough for Joe, July 26th.
Yep, July 26th.
Awesome.
It'll be 7.
We'll
I think
be
I go
out there.
7 to 10 there.
I think I might have to camp this year. I think it's a
so.
year. I haven't camped Dough for Joe since like college days, but I think I might have to camp at least after Zack Thomas because I don't know if we want to drive home that night.
And there's a band afterwards too. And
okay,
I think me and my drummer and my buddy Will, we're talking about that, and we're trying to figure out whether or not we're gonna.
Oh, you should stay
go back to Fargo.
Nah, we should just plan.
We're probably
on
gonna end up. Let's be honest, we'll be there. And especially if the Outstate booth is there again.
Yeah, the Outstate booth will be there.
We'll definitely be there.
I love it. Well, thanks a lot for taking the trip over today to do this. I know I ran into you at the show last week, and you're like, we could do it next week. I was like, let's do it. That's perfect. I always need guests. Fate always brings them to me when they need to be here. So appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, we'll do it again when you get that EP recorded. We'll come talk about it.
Sounds good.
All right, man. You have a good one. We'll see you guys at everyone out at Dough for Joe for some Zack Thomas with the band. On the way out here, shout out to the sponsors: Elks Point Bar and Grill, Dr. Zack Chiropractic, Wayne Schuett with Century 21 Atwood, Liberty Business Systems, Fergus Home and Hardware, Victor Lundeen's, Outstate Brewing. Cheers up on this Outstate Brewing here. Atlas Outdoor Services and Stumbeano's Coffee. So have a great week, everybody. We will be back with more of these. I'm not quite sure who I've got next week, but I'll find somebody.